Hi, how you doing? Good, glad to hear it. You're probably wondering how we made our latest sketch, which if you haven't, I'd recommend you go watch it because this video is going to spoil it for you. Contrary to popular belief, there are 5 stages to a film: development, pre-production, production, post-production, and distribution. In August of 2022, I moved up to Yuba City, California, and was very upset that I had yet to produce another sketch since Mando in Chief.
Luke, are you okay?
So I went back to the drawing board. I'm very adamant that for those who help me with my ideas, I'd also help with their ideas. Back in the day, Nick created a character called Ricky Fingers in a short skit called How to Play Guitar, and wanted to make a sequel. I explained to him that he would need to write a script and he would be directing because I wanted to make sure we made his video. We planned a day to shoot, and well, you can watch the BTS of what we tried to shoot.
My name's Ricky Fingers, and I'm gonna teach you how to play guitar.
Nick is very improv heavy.
Does anyone aboard have a bomb?
What would it look like?
Have you ever seen a drawing of a bomb such as this?
No.
Which is fine, but no matter what, a film needs to be planned out at least a little bit. My film teacher, Mr. Lucas, once said, "You can't make a good film with a bad script." Which means no matter what, you have to have a solid foundation. While I was editing this, I realized that the video was becoming the same thing as what the original was, and it was just slapstick comedy or whatever. But it occurred to me, it would be really smart to have a character that's actually trying to learn something. But the teacher is Ricky Fingers, and slowly that character who is quote unquote normal is learning that this guy is talking out of his I came back with my input and explained that we should have some scenes that show Ricky Fingers actually trying to teach Josh. We can still write a script that gives everyone the intention to improv, but no matter what, we at least now have a story. And that's when Nick went, why don't we put Ricky Fingers in an X-Wing? So we start again, but with the problem of work and time and scheduling conflicts, because you know, bills. The script was partially written by August of 2023.
What is taking them so long?
We ultimately landed instead of an X-Wing to fly a Y-Wing because if you've watched Star Wars, especially the Clone Wars, Y-Wings have a cockpit and then they have this like bubble turret in the back. And we thought it'd be a lot scarier if we put the student in the bubble turret, the guy who clearly doesn't know what he's doing in the cockpit. Now the student, his life is in danger and he has no control over the situation whatsoever. Thanks to my little cousins Logan and Skylar, I already made a short of exactly what we're about to do, shooting actors on a green screen to fly starfighters. That means I already knew the pipeline, and I know what I want to improve, and have a couple of ideas for a solution. Number 1, I hate the star field I made in the previous skit, so I want to try a brand new technique. Number 2, I don't have time to make practical models, and because I really want to learn anyway, I will use CGI to handle the starships as well as the starfield.
I know you're a computer-generated image.
This is the research section of film, so this is where you try to figure out things like character design, film locations, things like that. I am personally a big fan of using flowcharts to be able to put all of my ideas for a given project on a board and see how it all connects. If you guys know of any websites where I can do that and I have unlimited items I can put on said flowchart and I don't have to pay a subscription, please let me know below because I can't seem to find one. However, this is the point of the process where we're going to be looking up tutorials on how to do effects because that's just where we're at. The TIE Fighters we already had from a Star Wars VFX pack from a couple years ago, from Video Copilot and the Y-Wing model we downloaded off the internet. I get very overwhelmed with 3D animation, mainly with textures and bump maps and things like that. So this is the time where I would try to animate one of the shots and try to just learn all what the buttons do and figure out if I can solve the problem. I'd also like to point out that the script is part of the pre-production phase and not necessarily the development page, but all of these steps blend in together. This is just a good outline of, hey, these are the steps involved in making a movie.
So the first prop of the film is this cat. This is Maverick, also known as Hole. He likes to sit on our props before we use them because that's what he does. He is currently sitting on a orange jumpsuit, which we got off of Amazon. This is the green screen that we use. This is from a buddy of mine who purchased green screen, didn't need it, so he sold it to me. So we used that. We've got a 3D printed chest box right here that the pilots wear. I went and hand painted this myself. We've got our 2 helmets, which this one is a cheap helmet from Hot Topic, cat. This one is from Hot Topic. This is a Black Series collectible helmet, which this cat is soon gonna learn if he ever knocks it over, which I'll skin him alive. And yeah, those are pretty much, that's all the props that we needed. So this is Robbie. He's the one who pretty much built the green screen.
All right, so basically what we have here is we have a couple foundations, like 2x2s. All we did was we took a few screws to this concrete block. We got 2 of these blocks for, I don't know, let's say $6 to $8 a piece, I want to say. Got some screws, screwed them in here. Then we got ourselves a 1-inch diameter PVC pipe. We took a couple drill bits and we just drilled into the sides till we could get it to where it would slide on in, and then that's pretty much it. We just slid the PVC pipe in, made sure we had good spacing. There's a loop on the actual green screen itself that this pipe goes directly through, and it just hangs down, and that's it.
Well, how about that?
If you go to Disneyland, you can build a droid that's essentially a glorified RC car, but it makes great entertainment for babies. Now, after we've gone through the script, we've gotten the props and costumes, we got everything built and ready, time to schedule and go shoot the production.
Lights, camera, action, huh, Scoob?
I got up early before the shoot to make sure everything was ready. Our first issue of the day was the wrinkles in the green screen. There wasn't anything I could do, so I just set it up, and like drying wet clothes, I let it hang on its bar for an hour or so before Nick arrived. During filming, I realized the tarp was a terrible idea. All we could do was just stay as still as possible during take. For every shoot, I try to have 2 cameras on hand. We have the film camera, which is a Canon 60D, and then we have our BTS camera, which is a Rebel T6. However, the camera batteries won't work. Either the battery for it is messed up or the charger is messed up. Robbie did his best to get everything on his phone. And by noon, we wrapped up shooting, and I gotta take the footage to my computer.
To the post-production trailer!
Here's what we got left to do. 3D animate all the ship shots in Blender, then edit those shots in with the footage that we shot, green screen the footage, and finally do the sound design and the music. With tutorials ready to reference, I used the node editor in Blender and layers of fractal noise effects to create the star field, which now has a moving background on a 3-dimensional space. I put in my fake asteroids, which reminds me a lot of the 3-2-1 Penguin days. And then animated my Y-Wing flying through the asteroids with a path animation effect, and with my newfound confidence to animate, I just started to just barrel through.
You're wrong. Dead wrong.
I had texturing issues with the Star Destroyer, of course. Texturing issues with the TIE Fighters. I couldn't get the automatic lasers to work using a particle system. I utilized HitFilm's animated lasers effect, and the tip to make the effects look not like they're just drifting across the screen, as I've learned with the animation effect, is you want to utilize the different blur effects, specifically the angle blur effect. You want to animate the angle of the blur to match the angle of where the laser is going, and that helps it not seem like the laser's just drifting in space. And then the automatic lens flare effect, which calculated the bright spots are, and you got to control the intensity of what that flare and the color of what the flare would look like. So now the lasers also interact with the camera. So with a little lens dirt map, you can really make that laser come to life that way. Green screen effects are the next part of the list. I need to drink a Monster. I'm tired. It's currently 9:30 in the morning, and I couldn't get to sleep until about 2 a.m. because my brain just didn't want to shut off. So here we are. Although in one of the shots, unfortunately, a bird decided to sing in the middle of one of Nick's takes.
You want to be extra alert. You don't want the Empire to find a super secret, top secret, extra secret base.
I then showed Nick the clip because I wanted to reshoot it, which then he just went, why don't you just have a bird show up in space?
You don't want the Empire to find a super secret, top secret, extra secret base.
We used the Action Essentials stock footage for explosions and smoke effects, but then when we got to Sparky's shots, we started running into issues. One of the hardest things to key is shiny reflective surfaces, which is why the Mandalorian is such a flex. By the way, they have what's called the volume. Basically, rear projection from like the 1920s and 30s. There is no green screening involved. The background is real. So I used the same concept, but with the family room TV. I created a few backgrounds of the different scenes. So asteroids and stars flying by slowly, asteroids and stars flying by quickly, and a version of the quickly one with lasers flying back and forth. I uploaded them to YouTube, put them on the TV. Some of you may have saw that I did that. I needed them to be public for a little bit so I could use my aunt's account, which was already logged on to the TV to get them. Duck Sparky here in front of the TV, and you can see all of the actual real world light coming off the TV. Fun fact, my grandma is the one who puppeted Sparky. Thank you, Grandma, for your help. That was amazing, and I will always remember that till the day I die. But now, I don't have to do any VFX because the lasers are real. If I were to do this again, 3D print or the section of the Y-Wing to scale to him, not the whole back, just the area where he sits in, and then put that in front of the TV or projector. If you want to see that, leave a like on the video, or actually leave a comment so that way I know because some people will probably like this video because of other reasons, not just for that idea. So leave a comment whether or not you want to see us do that, and then I will try to sit down and actually do that thing. The sound effects for this video were pretty straightforward. I didn't have to do anything crazy. Most of the sound effects I needed were already in my personal library that I've built over for the last 10 years. Most of it came rips of Lego Star Wars. I downloaded that pack a long time ago because TT Games is very authentic. They use sounds and grunts and everything straight from the movies. So it's just like, if I wanted something authentic, I was like, that's where I needed to go. Other sound effects came from Halo Reach, a lot of the explosions and some of the control consoles. The fun part was with Sparky. One of the things that people don't realize is that when it comes to droids in Star Wars, especially with R2-D2, the reason why we like him so much is because he is partially voiced by an actual person. A lot of the beeps and whistles and electronic noises, those are actual sound effects. However, when he screams, he whistles, there's moments where he does like a little raspberry kind of a thing. I don't know how to best describe it. Ben Burtt realized while making noises to George Lucas trying to nail down what R2 sounded like, that he realized, oh my god, I can just record myself. That's how they made R2. I imagine they used a similar process with Chopper, so I pretty much decided to just try it. I started with stock sound effects from Lego Star Wars' R2-D2 sound files. If you also listen to Chopper and especially Ahsoka, you can almost hear him like actually saying the words he's meant to say.
Can't just shoot it down, it would crash into the port city.
I went into Audacity and I started with myself making noises that sounded like a sentence. So if I was gonna say, what's up, pal? It'd be, I started with that using R2-D2 sound effects. I would choose beeps and tones that matched what the words were going to be. So if I were to say a word that had like multiple syllables, there'd be like 3 beeps. And if I'm emphasizing something, whatever part of that word I'm emphasizing would be in a longer beep. So I would essentially choose beeps, boops, and it's very important for me that I do that. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to help us grow our channel. Anyway, that's how we made our little film Idiots in Space. Go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to help us grow our channel so we can continue making movies. And we'll see you later.